Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sebring City Council meeting. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. If you will all stand with me, the mayor's going to lead us in a prayer and a pledge.
Please bow with me. Lord, thank you for the wonderful day, the wonderful weather, the wonderful place that we live. Sebring is a little slice of heaven, and we appreciate you locating us all here. We have so much to pray for. We've asked that tonight we'll find out some changes that'll happen in our country. We ask that no matter which way it goes, that we all come in unity and all work together for America and for the United States and for the people that live here to make this and keep this a great place and make it great again. We ask that you watch over Kathy Haley and her family as they work through their sorrows and fond memories of Kathy's husband, Roy, has gone to a better place, which we will all end up one day. But we ask that you give them peace and solitude and help them get through this event that they've had. As we come up to Veterans Day next week, we honor those veterans, all veterans here and that have passed, and thank you for protecting this country and making it free, and we need to keep it free. We ask that all we do in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Shute.
Here.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Avery.
Here.
Benjo.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Bishop.
Here. All right. If anyone from the audience has something they would like to speak about that is not on the agenda, you can fill out a form and get it into our stand-in clerk, and we'll get to it later in the meeting. Mayor's report.
I got a book to record tonight. Had a lot of events going on in the past.
I see
and
that.
a bunch coming up,
Got a page
but
and a half.
Pioneer Days was up. Thanks to the Historical Society for putting that on. Did a great job. White Cane Day, we read about proclamation to them. Zenon Awards, I hadn't been there in a while, but went to go. They have a good time there, I'll tell you what. But it was really a fun event to go and see that. Children's Museum had their Pumpkin Fest. It was good to see. I think they had 40 kids that created their own business, and it was a little business fair for kids from 4 years old to 12 years old, and it was really neat to see them, and they were all having a good time. A lot of people attended, so had a pumpkin patch. Thanks to the Rotary Club for their Lake Jackson cleanup. Did a good job. Had a slight attendance this year, but they still haul a lot of trash out of Lake Jackson coming after the hurricane, so it was a good thing. And then we had the art festival last weekend. Good attendance. Had I think they're rebuilding that from the COVID days. They're up to 65 vendors from what I understand they had. So that was a nice event. And was able to meet with Congressman Scott Franklin, and his troops came down, about 20 from Washington, D.C. and from Lakeland. Came down and for a little presentation on what Highlands County was and what Sebring was. And it was really a good event to have Congressman Franklin here. He's a great guy, a really nice guy. Coming up, we have Veterans Day next Monday, as we announced, and so we just need to honor our veterans and thank them for giving us a day off also. So, but good. We have the Gobble Wobbles coming up, Circle of Lights. If you've been around the circle, you see that Santa's house is already here, so it's delivered from the North Pole, and the Spiegel family will start that, and that's pretty much all I have right now. So I've got some other events coming up in December, but we'll cover those in the next meeting.
Thank
That's
you.
all I got.
Okay.
All right.
Good enough. Mr. Carlisle?
No report.
Ms. Mendel?
Good evening. So glad you're here. And of course, we're all joining together and asking the Lord to give us godly, righteous leaders, both up and down the ticket in our country. So it's wonderful to be in a country where you can have free elections. I did attend Roy Haley's funeral. That was amazing with the family that was there, such a large extended family. And of course, our thoughts and prayers are still with our good friend Kathy Haley. Went to Pioneer Days. That was amazing, and I highly recommend that. A lot of historical stuff. Of course, the Sebring Historical Society put it on, but that was wonderful. And a very cool old car that Butch Thompson had there, like really old, I think about 1914. Then I went to the Sebring Historical Society luncheon last Saturday, and Colonel Mike Borders was there talking about how the new Florida Medal of Honor memorial is coming along. And they're going to have the dedication ceremony on December 12th at 10 a.m. And that is located right down the street at the site of the old Girl Scout building. And it just looks so lovely. And he gave us an update on that. And of course, the public's invited to that. And then week before last, I went to the Heartland American Israeli Initiative. And that is where we as Christians join together with our Jewish friends. And we have a wonderful Jewish community here. And they are getting ready to celebrate their 100th year anniversary of the temple coming up. But anyway, Robert Blackman was our speaker. And he gave a lot about the history of Harder Hall and the Jewish involvement and answered a lot of questions. And it was just a lovely time because we had people there at this meeting whose parents worked at Harder Hall and they grew up as young people in the Harder Hall building. So that was very interesting. Thank you.
Josh.
Yeah, a couple things. Wanted to say thanks to everybody who came out to Lake Jackson cleanup. I know we had a bunch of people from the city there. Thanks to the mayor for the hot dogs that he made for us all.
Dave Travers, got to give credit to Dave. So
All right, they were good.
they were good.
They were real good. A couple other little things. One of my my staff members told me he played the municipal golf course this weekend and that it was the best shape that it had ever been in his lifetime. And he's a lifelong Sebring resident, so that was a great thing to hear. I had a TDC meeting last week, and we recommended to the Board of County Commissioners an indoor sports complex facility to be built and the expansion of the existing outdoor complex. All would be kind of right here in Central Sebring, which will be cool. We'll see how that goes, but it could be very exciting. And the last thing, I'm sure Harrison will talk about this more, but there was a fire that our department responded to in South Lake Placid earlier this week, and the people in my office were looking at it like, oh, that's terrible. But who took those photos? Because they were really, really good. So shout out to Hannah for doing a great job. That's all I've got.
No. It's just to say that thank you again for the fire department. And after the fact, too, one of our firefighters ran into a pretty rough scene. So he was able to respond, and he was one of the first ones there. So he was able to kind of take point and really help navigate. So just thankful for a great fire department. We have a great team keeping us safe. So thank you, fire department. Thanks for Hannah, keeping us up to date, posted on everything that's going on. Sean you talked about this, but the Children's Museum, the business fair, it's probably one of my favorite events out of the entire year. So having 40 kids and about 40 different booths from ages, I think, 4 to maybe 12.
12.
For the 12, and some of those business ideas are just unbelievable. So we got a good future, got some good entrepreneurs coming down in Highlands County. So very excited to see what they're gonna do in the future. Told a couple of them as soon as they turn 18, come and find me. I want to hire them. Gotta wait a little bit longer though. So other than that, good.
Okay, thank you. I have one thing I would like to bring up to the rest of council, and that is, and it's unfortunate timing because she's not here, but we had the impending retirement of Clerk Haley, and I would like to get council's temperature on, after she retires, is making the clerk position an appointed position. And if it's okay with everyone, I would like to have legal and staff see what needs to be done to move forward so we can make a smooth transition with her retirement. And we have an election coming up next March, and I don't want to get caught with our pants down, so to speak, because we won't have another election until after her term is up, I believe. So if anybody has any comments on that.
I'm on board
Is her
with that.
term up this March? Or when is it?
26th. 2026. If you want to take action on it, you
Yeah.
have to
We
get
have
it on
to,
this one.
Get it
I'm
closed.
bringing it up now because we have 3 meetings left this year. And in order to get it on the ballot for next March in 2025, we need to kind of get on the ball.
So what is the feel of everyone about making it an appointed position as opposed to an elected?
I think
Position.
after her retirement, that's appropriate. I mean, she's been
Yeah, and I want to make it perfectly clear after she is
right,
completely done.
right.
I think it's a good idea. I think it needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What do you think, Scott? Think
Make it happen.
appointed instead of having to be elected position?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Because y'all all have to work with that. And yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Do we need to take any action on this, Bob? or-
Not yet.
Okay. All right. That's that. Moving on, let's go on to the consent agenda. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? No? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as proposed.
And I second it.
The board?
Hardhack,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Bendo,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. All right, no old business. On to new business. We have these couple of public hearings here. Item 10A, we have public hearing number 1530. I will open the public hearing and hand it off to Mr. Swain.
The ordinance that you will consider this evening is entitled Ordinance Number 1530, and it's an ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, changing the future land use classification for a parcel that totals approximately 19.84 acres, located near the southeast corner of the intersection of Panther Parkway and Beacon Avenue from county medium-density residential to city medium-density residential, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
All right. Here to present is Miss Marissa Barnby.
Yes, thank you. For the record, Martha Barnby with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council. Since this ordinance and the companion rezoning ordinance blend so well together, this presentation is for both. Obviously, both have to have their own public hearing. Next slide. This is a request. Applicant initiated. The owner is Beacon of New Hope. The owner's representatives are here to answer any questions you may have as well. The property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Panther Parkway and Beacon Avenue. You can also see Cowboy Way, and where it intersects with Panther Parkway is also the southern end of this property. The request is to go from medium density residential county to medium density residential of the city, with the companion zoning of county residential R1 to city multi-family R3. This is a view looking at Beacon Road. On Beacon Road, the property is on the right side of the screen. Next slide. This is the view from Cowboy Way. You can see there is a power line that runs through this. This will be something that will be dealt with at the time of development application. The future land use as it exists today, you can see the property is county residential medium or medium density residential, as there are a lot of the properties surrounding it. With the change, it will become city medium density residential. The red line shows the city limits, so while a lot of those project properties say county residential medium on them, they are actually in the city limits. Next slide. This shows the proposed future land use change with the residential low in the county at 8 dwelling units an acre, going to medium density residential in the city at 12 units an acre. That increases the density potential from 158 to 238 dwelling units, which is an increase of 80 dwelling units maximum on the site. This is the existing zoning on the site. It's R1. Surrounding it is a mixture. You've got M2 FUD to the north, which is the project that is currently under development up there. You have county R1, R3, AU, and R2, and R1A surrounding it. So it is definitely a mix of uses that are, or intensities that are happening in that area. The proposal is to take it to R3. R3 allows for single family and two family dwelling units with lot areas of 15,000 square feet, with a maximum density of 12 units per acre, where the city's goal is to serve the district with city water and sewer. The proposed zoning impact is similar to the future land use, where going from 8 dwelling units to 12 dwelling units an acre, you end up with 238 dwelling units, which is an increase of 80 dwelling units. The properties are in agricultural use at this Point, the majority of the property surrounding it is also agriculture, except the property to the north, which is under construction at this time for a residential property or development. There are water lines and sewer lines located along Panther Parkway that are extending to the mobile home park under construction. These lines would also be used for service to this site. There was a letter provided by City Utilities verifying capacity of both water and sewer to serve this development. Any connection requirements would have to be paid for by the applicant. Solid waste, the county has sent a letter stating that they have capacity in their system to serve this development if it were to be built out of full potential. Next slide. The transportation for the site, has adjacent points on Beacon Avenue, Panther Parkway, and Cowboy Way. The roads are currently operating at level of service B. Full analysis would be done, including access points. As you saw from the view, Cowboy Way does have a bit of a curve, so access points would be, for safety concerns, would be looked at very closely at that location. The applicant did provide emergency service information in relation to how close the EMS services are for the city and the county, all within 6 minutes or less, which does meet level of service requirements for the fire department. So no improvements on the fire side would be necessary to service this development, or fire or police, I should say. The school board did do an initial review and said they have capacity. A full review would be required at time of development application. The applicant did also provide an analysis of all the park and open space requirements that exist in the code and how much they would have to do based on per 1,000 people. That number will change, obviously, depending on how many units they actually come in and apply for, if and when that site is developed. Next slide. This site is located outside of any environmental sensitive areas. It's not in a special flood hazard area. They will have to do environmental analysis prior to development, consistent with requirements of the state. The proposed request is consistent with the future land use map, with the surrounding uses that are existing or could happen under the future land uses that are assigned in that area. The proposed zoning is consistent with the proposed future land use and the surrounding properties. This is, again, a reminder of what your future land use map would look like with this property change, and what your zoning map would look like with its change. The Planning and Zoning Board did hear these items on October 29th. It did recommend approval on both items. They did have discussion, concerns about traffic, but they, one, or that they had concerns about, was discussed at the hearing. Your motion options are there. I am happy to stand for any questions you may have, and as I said, the applicant's representative is here.
All right, thank you. The purpose of a public hearing is to get input from the public. Is there any questions from the public? Yeah. All right, at this time, I will adjourn the public hearing and open it up to council questions. Anybody have any questions? No? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 1530 on second final reading as presented.
Second.
Pull the board. Carlisle.
Yes, yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Bender,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. All right, moving on, item 10B, we have public hearing, number 1531. I will open the public hearing and hand it off to Mr. Swain.
We'll call this the companion ordinance. It's ordinance 1531, which is entitled an ordinance of the city of Sebring, Florida, changing the zoning classification for a parcel that totals approximately 19.84 acres located near the southeast corner of the intersection of Panther Parkway and Beacon Avenue from County Residential District R1 to City Multiple Family District R3, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
For the record, Marissa Barbie with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council. Just want to state again, Planning and Zoning Board did hear this on October 29th and recommended approval, and the applicant's representative is here for any questions.
All right. The purpose of a public hearing is to open the floor for any public comment or questions. Does anybody from the public have any questions? No. All right, I will close the public hearing and open it up to council. No? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion we approve ordinance number 1531 on second and final
Second.
reading as presented.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, we have no business from the audience. On to the attorney.
Good evening. You have in front of you agenda item 12A, which has a proposed ordinance, which is entitled an ordinance repealing section 23-121 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sebring, providing for conflict and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Anyone from the public have any questions or comments? Anyone from council? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion we approve ordinance number 1532 on first reading, schedule second and final reading for November 19th, 20.
Nice second.
Hold the board.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Natlip?
Good evening, council. Agenda item 13A is the project report. Really no changes other than a contract is in negotiations. We do have a draft or revised draft contract for the Public Works Utilities property, future Public Works Utilities property. I hope to have that back at you at your November 19th meeting, but I hope no later than sometime in December. Mobile home park moratorium. We did meet with special counsel. They have, they're working on the finalized draft and hope to have that back at your November 19th meeting. And I'm still waiting to hear from FWC on potential workshop date.
What was that last item?
FWC on the Illinois Pond.
Oh, okay.
And can you give us an update on storm debris?
You want me to do that with 13C or?
That's,
Look at that segue.
Let's do it.
oh,
let's,
okay.
Let's do it with 13C. How's that?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot it. That was added.
No worries.
Okay. Moving on.
13B is a subordination agreement between the city and FDOT. We've got some utility interests in the area. It would appear that Racetrack's going to donate some property that we may have some utilities on as well to FDOT, and FDOT is requiring a subordination agreement. In the subordination agreement, if the lines do have to be moved, DOT will pay for that move according to the agreement. And there's a representative from Racetrack who has joined us virtually, should you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yep. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the subordinates of the city utility interest agreement as presented.
Second.
Hold the board.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. All right. So I tried to jump the gun.
So the last item I have is a proposed amendment to an interlocal agreement that the city entered into, I don't know, say 4 years ago, for debris removal within the county. So that essentially allowed the county to hire a debris contractor that will remove all debris in the county, including debris within the municipalities, the improvement districts, the towns. This amendment will allow us to also collect debris and then ultimately seek reimbursement for services that we provide. It would appear that it's necessary this year just because of the tropical storm nature of this year's storms have stretched a lot of these debris collectors really, really thin. And ultimately, it's been very difficult for our debris contractor to get either trucks and or staff into the area to collect debris. They do have trucks and staff in the area, they just don't have as many as we really need to effect timely debris pickup. So our staff has been doing this for several days now. With this interlocal, it will allow us to be reimbursed. I don't believe it'll allow us to be reimbursed for what we've done up to this point, but we'll explore that option when we submit an invoice that ultimately FEMA will have to approve. And we'll invoice the county. County will get reimbursed, and then they'll reimburse us for our expenses.
Okay.
As far as debris collection in the city, we've been working diligently. I believe Lakeview, all of Lakeview has been done, if I'm not mistaken. No, we're still.
There's still stuff.
Bayview
short.
to Home Avenue is spotty.
Okay. And so we're working at it. We have 3 trucks, 3 drivers, probably doing 7 to 8 loads a day.
That's the number you told me, yeah.
So hopefully we'll get it done. I'm not even going to venture a guess as to when we'll get it done because there's a lot of debris out there. So in order to get 100% reimbursement, I think it's 100% or the most reimbursement, we've got to complete it. County has to complete it within 90 days. So that's what, obviously we're shooting for. We're shooting for something less. Hopefully we'll have it done in a month, but I'm not gonna commit to that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Clerk?
Anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion, we approve amendment 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Interlocal between Hans County, Florida and the city of Sebring for removal of emergency disaster debris.
Second.
It's not like there's anything going on TV tonight.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Pinto,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes. All right.
We got the bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Pull the board.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Pinto,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bishop.